There is a moment when everything changes, when the frantic dance of death that plays inside you simply stops. You've felt it, haven't you? That relentless rhythm of fear, the constant drumbeat of mortality echoing in your chest, the way your mind spins stories about endings, about loss, about the inevitable approach of what you cannot control. But what if I told you that in the presence of the divine, death's dance becomes completely silent? The ancient master Osho spoke of a profound truth that cuts through our deepest terror. In God's presence, the dance of death naturally becomes peaceful. This isn't metaphor. This isn't consolation. This is the direct recognition of what you actually are. Feel this moment, right now, as you listen to these words. Notice what is aware of your breathing. Notice what observes your thoughts about death, your fears about tomorrow, your anxiety about what might be lost. That awareness, that witnessing presence, has it ever been born? Will it ever die? You have forgotten the most essential truth about yourself. You have identified completely with the clay lamp, your body, your thoughts, your personal history, and forgotten the eternal flame burning within it. You are not the temple. You are the deity residing inside. We identified ourselves with the body and became mortal. But you are not mortal. You never were. Let's experience this directly. Close your eyes for a moment, or soften your gaze if you prefer to keep them open. Notice the thoughts arising and passing in your mind. Who is aware of these thoughts? Notice your breathing, the sensation of air moving in and out. Who is aware of this breathing? Notice any emotions present. Perhaps fear, perhaps curiosity, perhaps resistance. Who is aware of these emotions? This awareness, this witnessing consciousness, has it changed at all as thoughts come and go? Has it been affected by your emotions rising and falling? Has it aged as your body has aged? This witnessing presence is what you are, not the witnessed, but the witness itself. And the witness has no birth date, no expiration, no beginning and no end. Breathe into this recognition. When you truly remember who you are, not as the body born to your parents, but as the eternal consciousness temporarily expressing through this form, something miraculous happens. The stories about death lose their power. The anxiety about endings dissolves. The frantic dance of mortality becomes still. This is why sitting with an awakened being has such transformative power, not because they do anything to you, but because their very presence reminds you of what you've forgotten about yourself. Satsang means simply being with one who has found truth. In their presence, you remember, not through their words, not through their teachings, but through the quality of their being. Like a flame lighting another flame, their awakeness awakens the sleeping recognition within you. But here's what most people miss. They call upon the divine only in their suffering. When plague comes to their city, whether it's illness, loss, depression, or despair, then they remember to seek what is eternal. And yes, Grace responds, the immediate crisis passes, but then, feeling better, they forget again. How small we make the infinite, how we use ultimate truth for temporary relief. It's like using a sword to kill an ant, Osho would say. The divine presence within you is capable of so much more than simply solving your immediate problems. Science can solve your problems. Medicine can heal your body. Therapy can calm your mind. But only truth can end the dance of death itself. What would happen if you called upon the divine, not just in crisis, but in joy, not just when you're desperate, but when you're content? What if you made space for the eternal, not as emergency rescue, but as your natural way of being? The Master reminds us of something profound. This recognition doesn't begin with your current spiritual practice. The seeds were planted long ago through every moment you chose truth over appearances, unity over division, presence over mental projection. Every time you see past the surface differences between spiritual traditions, every time you bow to truth, regardless of what religious costume it wears, every time you recognize the same light burning in different lamps, these moments plant seeds that eventually flower into awakening. The religious person sees that wherever lamps burn, whosoever lamp burns, they are all God's lamps. Are you someone who walks past the mosque as if it doesn't exist? Who passes the temple as if only your tradition holds truth? Who ignores the meditation hall because it's not your particular path? Or have you developed the eyes to see that when consciousness awakens anywhere, in any form, through any practice, it's the same light recognizing itself? This recognition that truth has no religious passport, that awakening speaks all languages, that the divine flame burns equally bright, whether the lamp is Hindu or Muslim, Buddhist or Christian, made of clay or gold. This recognition is not small. It is the foundation upon which all genuine spirituality rests, and it requires sacrifice. When you honor truth, wherever you find it, your spiritual ego must die. Your need to be special, to be chosen, to have the only correct path, this must be surrendered. But what seems like loss becomes the greatest gain. What appears to be sacrifice becomes infinite abundance. If greater happiness can be seen through the sacrifice of small happiness, the wise person abandons small happiness for the sake of greater happiness. This is the mathematics of awakening. You have a handful of grain. You can eat it today and have momentary satisfaction, or you can plant it and wait through seasons of uncertainty for a harvest that will feed you for years. Most people eat the grain. They choose the immediate comfort, the familiar pleasure, the known quantity. They remain spiritually hungry because they never learned to plant seeds in the unknown soil of surrender. But you, what will you choose? The recognition of what you are requires everything and gives you everything. It asks for the death of who you think you are and reveals who you have always been. Right now, in this moment, death's dance can become silent, not because you've solved all your problems, or healed all your trauma, or perfected your spiritual practice, but because you remember the obvious truth that has been hidden in plain sight. You are the awareness in which life and death appear. You are the consciousness that witnesses coming and going. You are the eternal space in which all temporary forms arise and dissolve. The body will age, thoughts will continue to come and go, emotions will rise and fall. But what you are, this aware presence, this witnessing consciousness, this divine spark, remains untouched, unchanging, eternal. Let this truth settle into your bones. Let it become more real than your fears, more present than your worries, more solid than your story of yourself. As Osho reminds us, only the immortal can truly triumph over death. You are that immortality. You have always been that immortality. You will always be that immortality. And in recognizing this, death's frantic dance simply stops. Breathe. Rest in this silence. Rest in this truth. Rest in what you are. Can you feel it? The stillness where the dance of death used to play? This is your natural state. This is what you are when you're not trying to be anything else. Take this recognition with you, not as a belief to hold on to, but as a truth to live from, not as a concept to think about, but as a reality to embody. And perhaps, just perhaps, your presence will help quiet the dance of death in others as well. Your peace will become their peace. Your recognition will awaken their recognition. This is how truth spreads, not through arguments or conversion, but through the simple presence of someone who has remembered what they are. What seeds of recognition will you plant today? How will you honor the divine light wherever you encounter it? What small sacrifices will you make for the sake of infinite gain? These questions aren't asking for answers from your mind. They're invitations for your life itself to respond in silence, in presence, in the space where death's dance has finally become still. If this recognition touched something eternal within you, if you felt even a glimpse of the deathless awareness you truly are, know that you're not alone in this remembering. Others are awakening to this same truth, finding their way home to what they've always been. Stay close to what stirs your soul toward truth. And if these reflections serve your journey inward, join us for the explorations ahead.